zoom in here for a second. So we have this thing that says path. What is that?
That's the file path that this specific artifact was located at.
All right. And when you look at that, can you tell roughly where in the phone that's coming from?
I can tell what application it was derived from.
Okay, so tell us what application it was derived from.
From Google Photos.
From Google Photos. What is it? What do you see there in that extraction pathway that tells you that?
The google.android.apps.photos.
Okay. We look over to the right. There's in that second big column, it indicates the word modified. What does that mean?
So being that this is a cached file, that's the last time that the phone interacted with that specific file.
Okay. And sometimes that can, for example, in some instances, you may have like a created on date. Would that be correct?
Correct.
So if you could tell, if the phone, the extraction could show, like, we know definitively that that phone created that particular, it might say created or something along those lines. Is that right?
You'd usually have something like created data or more metadata.
Okay. But at the end of the day, what does the word cached mean, by the way? How does that work in relation to phones?
Cache is phones use it, computers use it. It's temporary storage. When, say, use an application, visit a website, data, files, scripts, media, pictures can be stored in the cache to assist those applications or, say, a website in loading information faster so that it's not always going back to the source to download it. It tries to make the application run smoother, run faster for the user.
Okay. And so we have here, there's a couple of thumbnails over here. So those are kind of small images of that, correct?
Correct.
And we can see, this thumbnail, the re-elect Rob, tell us what is the date that it was modified or last modification date on there?
That'd be April 5th of 2022.
Okay, and this first image, when is that modified?
July 24th, 2022.
Okay. Close that out. And then there are associated in this folder we have a full image. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Did you have an opportunity to generate an extraction report regarding items searched items within Mr. Tellis's phone?
Sorry, could you say that once more?
Was there an extraction report generated for searched items, certain searched items within Mr. Tellis's phone?
Yes.
Okay. What does the searched items category mean in relation to Celebrate?
So in this instance, it was using the Google Chrome app, and it was something that would have been searched on there.
So you would kind of type those words into your phone, and then it would spit out potentially a result or create a record. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So when we look at this one, how many times was this tagged?
There's 25 tags.
Okay. And so when we look at what is the timestamp of the first one?
6:43:54 p.m. on
go ahead.
On June 21st, 2022.
So you tricked me. You went time first, and I was kind of thrown off there. I wanted the date more importantly, but thank you very much. So on 6/21/22, someone typed into the phone, what's this category that says value? Why is that? What does that mean?
That's the value that was typed in.
Okay, and then when we look at sources, again, is this kind of like the pathway?
Yes.
And where is it telling you these words, Jeff German, Las Vegas? Where is that popping up in this particular phone?
I'm not sure I understand that question.
Well, is this a pathway here? Is it telling you what application was being used when those words were typed?
Yes, the source is telling you what application was in use.
So what is the application?
That'd be Chrome.
Chrome. What is Chrome?
Chrome is a web browser.
Okay, is that like Safari if you have an Apple?
Yes.
Okay. So just scrolling down, are we seeing the same terms being used?
That is correct.
Does it appear that all of these dates are June 21st of 2022?
It does.
Looking at entry number 17, what's the value in terms being used now?
In value, it's Jeff German, Las Vegas with Rob 4 in V in parentheses,
Okay.
or sorry, quotations.
Was there an extraction report regarding web history?
Yes.
What is web history in terms of this program?
Web history of this program can look again at the browsers you're using and what exactly you're doing with that browser, what websites you're visiting.
Okay, so you can kind of see, again, someone may type in terms and you can see if they're visiting a particular website. Is that
Yes.
correct? How many tags are there here?
18.
Okay. What was the title? What were the words being typed into Google search?
Jeff German, Las Vegas,
And what was the date?
6/21/22,
At what time?
6:43:54 p.m.
Does this appear to parallel the first entry under the searched items as well?
It does.
And can that happen? You can type, the program can pick up when you're typing in and consider it a searched item, but if it shows up in your web browser, it might also be captured under web history.
Yes, multiple artifacts can be found in multiple places.
Okay. And these are examples of all the time that those terms were searched. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, another area is photographs. We talked about photographs briefly. Were there a series of extractions brought up regarding images found on a phone?
Yes.
Okay. Now, Detective, are you familiar with the date in which Jeff German passed away?
I do not recall the specific date.
Okay. If I told you September 2nd of 2022, you wouldn't have a reason to disagree. Is that correct?
No.
Okay. Now, I want to take a look at this extraction report. How many tags are there?
3.
Okay. And what is the pathway related to these images?
Again, it's from the google.android.apps.photos.
Okay. And so it's coming from like a photo library?
From Google Photos.
Okay. And a Google Photos in his phone?
It could be in his phone, could be in the cloud.
So that's when we take pictures and then it kind of flows up into the cloud and it's stored up there.
Correct.
Is that correct? Okay. So what is the modified date on this image here?
8/19/2022 at 1:42:15 p.m.
Okay. How about the second entry? What is the modified date there?
8/19/2022, 12:23:30 p.m.
Okay. And the third one?
8/19/2022, 1:42:15 p.m.
Okay. And you mentioned that these also capture the actual images themselves. Is that right? When we do these reports?
Yes.
Publishing the first file. What color is that shoe on the right?
It appears to be gray.
Okay. What brand does it appear to be?
Nike?
Sir, when we look at the sole of the shoe, is it purely white or does it appear to have a design somewhere in the middle here?
Appears there's a design.
What sort of design does it look like?
4 black squares.
Okay. And this image was found inside Mr. Tellis's phone.
Yes.
And the modified date on that was August 19th of 2022.
Yes.
Okay, so roughly, do my math correctly, 13 days before Mr. German's murder, 12 days, if my math is off.
Sounds correct.
Okay. And then this image appears 3 different times.
That's correct.
One second. Was an extraction report produced using the term Alfred camera.
Yes.
Publishing that file. How many, what is timeline?
Timeline is just giving you a reference of how many different columns there are, basically, how many you've extracted or tagged.
And in Celebrite, if there's a timeline, does it kind of put events that occur in the phone in chronological order?
It does.
Okay. So there appears to be what? How many things pulled from the timeline?
7.
Okay. And there's a column here that says type, correct?
Yes.
And so it kind of tells you what type of data entry point is inside the phone. Would that be fair?
Yes.
Okay, so let's read out entry number 1. What is the type?
Installed applications.
So what does that mean?
Be when you downloaded an application from an app store.
Can you please tell me the date that this application was installed?
9/5/2022 at 12:03:53 a.m.
And if you could just help us, there's this parent parentheses that says UTC -7. What does that mean?
UTC is a time code, so right now we're in -7 during daylight savings time.
Okay, so we're talking time zones, is that right?
Yeah, universal coordinated time, and then every time zone goes off of that.
And we're Pacific, correct?
Yes.
And so to get to Pacific, you'd have to subtract 7 hours?
Yes.
And is that what the program is indicating, that this has been converted to Pacific time?
Yes.
All right. If you could, so it says timestamp, it reads that date. Read what it says right here.
Purchase date.
Okay. And then what's the description of what application was purchased?
The Alfred Camera Home Security app.
Okay. So this application was installed by someone 3 days after Mr. German was killed.
Correct.
All right. Let's go to the next entry. What is entry number 2 about?
Web history.
All right. And give us the date and time.
9/5/2022, 12:10:46 a.m.
So because this is timeline, it's kind of merging different sources of information, correct?
Yes.
Like before we had a report that just looked at web history, but timeline can pull from different spaces, right?
Correct.
So for example, if there was an image that might relate to this, it would also migrate into this report. Would that be correct?
That's possible.
All right. So if you could, it's indicate, what's the term that's being used right there?
It's the last visited time.
What does that mean?
When somebody last visited that website.
All right. So at 12:10 a.m., what is the user of this phone visiting?
The Alfred Web Viewer PC is home security monitor using Google Chrome.
Okay. And we find, is there a second entry mirroring all of that same information?
Yes.
Look at entry number 4. How about then?
Same information.
But is the date a little bit different?
The time is different, yes.
Okay. We have other similar entries. Is that correct on the 5th?
That is correct.
Okay. Was there information, an extraction report also, was there also an extraction report derived from images that appeared to come from Google Maps?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's first pull up the extraction report. How many images relating to Google Map images were tagged for this report?
132.
So that signifies that there was 132 images found on his phone related to this particular topic?
That were tagged, yes.
Okay. Let's start scrolling through some of this. For example, with this first one here, can you tell us when you look at the pathway, where are these images coming from?
From the Google Maps app.
So they're coming from the Google Maps app.
Yes.
All right. What's the modification date on this?
Again, that would be the last time that application interacted with that specific artifact.
Please read out the date for entry number 1.
8/12/2022, 9:55:24 p.m.
Okay. Let's look at this second one. What is there? It's off by a couple of different seconds, correct?
Yes.
But all the information remains the same.
Yes.
Does 8/12/22 appear to be the same date for these items?
It does.
Let's just all the way down to the end, all from 8/12. Is that correct?
Correct.
So let's open up a folder that says 7216 Bronze Circle. You recognize what you're looking at here?
A home?
It's a home. Is it in a certain type of web program?
This would be a Google Street View, yes, so Google Maps.
Okay. And so at this particular home, this is kind of an angle. This would be if someone was in Google Maps and pulled up a street view of 7216 Bronze Circle. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is it just another angle of
Yes.
that same home?
Yes.
Let's start getting to the actual images. So this is one of the images that was found inside Mr. Tellis's phone. Does this correspond to one of the thumbnails?
Yes.
How about this one?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Pulling up 7212 Bronze Circle. What are we looking at in this image?
Another street view of a house.
Okay. Is this image pulled out of Mr. Tellis's phone?
Yes.
And again, the dates on these were August 12th of 2022.
Yes.
So that's roughly, my math is usually terrible, about 20 days before Mr. German is killed. If it's September 2nd. Am I doing that math right? I feel like I am.
It sounds close.
Sounds close? Okay. In this photograph, what does that appear to be? Right above the street address on the house?
Appears to be a solar-powered security camera.
And that was inside Mr. Tellis's phone.
The image, yes.
Are these images that came out of this extraction?
Yes. 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 Yes.
What are we looking at here? This is another street view
It is.
of this street called Bronze Circle.
It is.
Are these following images that were pulled out of Mr. Tellis's phone?
They are.
And there's a series of folders here that identify different houses on this street. Would that be correct?
Correct.
Okay. But ultimately, when you put them all together, it totals how many does it total again? Based on this?
132.
With a date of August 12th of 2022.
Correct.
Was there also images, an extraction report created regarding what appeared to be, I apologize, I need to move this over, what appeared to be almost like surveillance,
There was.
publishing that report? How many tags are related here?
101.
If you could, please tell me the pathway where these images come from.
The google.android.apps.photos cache.
So it's coming from, again, the photo application inside Mr. Tellis's phone?
That or Google Photo Cloud, one of.
Okay, or it was up in the cloud associated, but that phone, that particular phone belonging to Mr. Tellis is associated with that cloud, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What's the modification date on this?
8/15/2022, 10:24:07 a.m.
So 3 days after the 132 images found of Bronze Circle.
That's correct.
And this is a rough look of what all of these images look like, correct?
Correct.
What appears to be captured in these photographs?
Vehicles driving down a street.
And they all appear to be from 8/15 of 2022, correct?
They do.
So a total of 101, is that right?
That's correct.
Now, we don't have all 101, but I want to ask you, do these appear to be some of the images that appear inside this phone related to this extraction report?
They do.
Was there also an extraction report created relating to images that appeared to have information related to Jeffery German?
There was.
How many tags were there?
7.
Why don't you tell us again about the pathway? Where did these images come from?
From the Google Photos app.
So the same application that had kind of like this, the pictures of the cars driving by, same place.
Yes.
The same place where all the Bronze Circle pictures are taken, correct?
Yes.
Okay, those came from the 12th and the 15th. Tell us about this date. When do these images, when are these at least show up as being modified?
8/23/2022.
Okay, so just a couple of days later, correct?
Correct.
And every one of these 7 images is from that date, correct?
Correct.
If you could, please read me the name that is under registrants.
Jeffery M. German.
Okay? I'd like to go 2 notches down. Please read the registrant and the address.
Jeffery M. German, 7216 Bronze Circle, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89128, I believe.
Okay? Can you tell me what is this? Read the top line up here. What does that say?
2021 Honda Civic Sport.
It provides a VIN number as well. Is that right?
It does?
Okay. It provides the body style. Is that right?
It does.
And when we look at this, can you look at the bottom and read the words of what that says right there?
Dell.
Okay. You're familiar with computers, correct?
Correct.
Does that appear to be a monitor?
It does.
A monitor that might be sitting on a desk, potentially?
Potentially.
Okay. This came out of Mr. Tellis's phone.
Yes,
And the date of the modification on this is August 23rd. Is that right?
that's correct.
And that would be roughly 8 or 9 days. I just can't remember if August. Is August 31 days? I feel like August is 31 days. And if that's the case, then that would be 9 days before Mr. German was killed.
Correct.
Okay. So this image comes out of Mr. Tellis's phone. 31 days. I love that math. It's good. Okay. Did this image come out of Mr. Tellis's phone?
It did.
Please, what are the names that we keep seeing appearing in here?
Jeffery M. German.
Okay, and it's listing what? What's it kind of showing? Different what?
Different cars.
Okay. Again, do we see the Dell thing again?
Yes.
Okay. Next image, is this another angle of it? Another angle of like another image?
Yes.
Okay, it appears to come from a monitor, from a computer.
Yes.
Is it more information about German and Hondas?
It is.
I guess there's another one down here, 2003 what?
2003 Volkswagen Passat GL.
Right. What are we looking at here? This is another image that came from the phone.
It is.
And again, it has similar information that we saw from one of the other images.
Correct.
Again, this comes out of Mr. Tellis's phone.
It does.
And let's look at this one. What's this say up here?
Jeffery M. German.
Okay, does it provide a date of birth for Mr. German?
It does.
What is the date of birth of Mr. German?
8/23/1953, 69 years old.
All right. Does it also provide a bronze circle address as well for Mr. German?
It does.
So the date on that is 8/23. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that you also did a download of Mr. Tellis's work computer, correct?
Correct.
A computer that was found in his office. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Did you produce a series of reports similar to an extraction report in relation to that?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to open up the first file here that's entitled Chrome Autofill 07216 Bronze. Is this kind of the cover page for your report, sir?
For a PDF report, yes.
Okay. So this indicates Chrome Autofill Record 1, is that right?
That's correct.
Tell me what's the significance of the category name?
When something's typed in, such as an address into Google, it might think you want to store that as an autofill to make it easier to populate when you're typing something in the future.
What's the date on that?
That is 8/23/2022. It's 6:05:40 p.m.
Okay. So that's the same date that we had that we looked at before, right?
Yes.
So the ones that had like the car registration information that appeared to be on a monitor, computer monitor, we've got at least the same date as those images, correct?
That's correct.
Can you please read to me what value was entered in at that point?
7216 bronze.
That's the same street associated with Mr. German on those images from 8/23, is that right?
That's correct.
Is that the same street name as all of those Google Maps